Hallo alle zusammen, heute machen wir eine kurze Wiederholung und zwar von dem Kasus Nominativ und dem Kasus Accusativ. Hi everyone, today we're going to do a little bit of review of something you should have learned in German 1B or 1, and that is the cases nominative and accusative. So to start, when you guys learned about nominative and accusative, you didn't learn them per se with those names. What you would have done is something like this. Let's just write a quick sentence. Susie I always use kicks the ball. Okay, Susie's a soccer player and Susie is kicking the ball. So I'm going to replace both the ball and Susie with a pronoun in a second. So she kicks, well, it. Okay, so this is two English sentences. We have Susie and we have the ball. Now, of course, every sentence in English, just like German, is going to have a subject of some sort. So in this case, our subject is Susie. So that is our subject. Now in this case, not every sentence, but in this case in particular, we also have a direct object. And that is, of course, the ball. Now just to clarify, whenever you say you have the subject of a sentence, that's the part of the sentence, that's the person or the thing that is acting in the sentence. That's the person or thing doing something. When you say that you have a direct object, that is the thing being acted upon, and I usually say the thing being verbed. So Susie is the one doing the action, she's kicking something, and the thing that's being kicked is the ball. So it's being verbed, it's being kicked. So we've got the subject and the direct object. So just to transfer that over into the German sentence for the same thing, so we're going to translate. Susi tritt, oops, writing half German, half English, tritt den Ball. Sorry about the bell. So we've got Susi tritt den Ball. Now, Ball in German is masculine, but we have den Ball. The reason that's den is exactly because the ball in this case is our direct object. So if I replace these with pronouns, I would in German say sie, tritt, and then ihn. Again, we're not going to use a pronoun that means it. We're going to use a pronoun that means he. So Susie kicks him is what you would say in English, and we're going to use ihn, which is our accusative pronoun. So I'm just going to highlight again so that you see the same thing. You've got den Ball as your direct object and Susie as the one acting, so she is the subject. So going back to the cases, excuse these bells, going back to the two cases, we've got nominative and accusative case. Nominative case is our subject case. So nominative is the thing that is acting, and accusative is our direct object case. So those are the two things to remember. Now for accusative, we also have a bunch of prepositions. Now we're going to learn these this year. Some of them you should already know, but we're going to learn those. So if you have a prepositional phrase with a preposition that is marked as accusative, you would also use accusative. But for now, the important part is you have subject and direct object case. Okay, so when you're looking at these cases, in German we actually mark a lot of words for case. So pronouns in general, no matter what type of a pronoun, are marked for case. Okay, adjectives are marked for case, and what I call der words and ein words. are marked for case. So der words, just to clarify what that is, are your this, so your definite articles. So der, die, das, those words. But we also have some other ones, and those are dieser, welcher, und jeder. So those are 3 additional examples. So dieser means this, welcher means which, and jeder means every. So those also qualify as der words. They go with the definite articles, and that'll be important when I show you guys the case chart in a second. Okay, the second group of words is the ein words. So those are indefinite articles. So in English that would be or n. So ein, eine, einen, those words. And it's also going to be our possessive pronouns. I may have spelled that wrong. So possessive pronouns are words like my, your, his, her. And in German they happen to have the word ein in a lot of them. So my in German is mein. You just write this down so you see it. So it has the ein in there. So those qualify as ein words. And again, that will matter when we go over the case chart. So all of these are marked for case. Okay, what in the world am I talking about when I say marked for case? Marked for case means that you have different endings on them, or you have a completely different word. So the completely different word would be something like the pronoun. So that's the example right here. So of course, if you say he, it's going to be er. So that's the nominative pronoun for a male thing. But if you have the accusative pronoun for a male thing, it's going to be ihn. So it changes, it's completely marked. Not all the words change. Typically masculine is the one that's the tip-off one, and that shows you case the best, but they are going to be marked. Okay, so we just talked about the possessive adjectives or pronouns and what they are, and you wrote those down, and we talked about the fact that we have nominative and accusative case and that things get declined. Now, I had said that the possessives are ein words. So I'm just going to write a couple of example sentences in English. It's my new book. That's my new car. I'm going to use the old-fashioned word for car. And that's my new bag. Okay, so 3 example sentences. Now in German, whenever I'm going to do these, we're going to have something neuter, something masculine, and something feminine. I'm going to use that's my each time. So we have, number these. For the first one, das ist mein neues Buch. Then for the second one, das ist mein neuer Wagen. And for the third one, das ist meine neue Tasche. So all 3 of those sentences. Now, there's not much of a difference. We only have the slight difference with one little word. And that's in the mein, we have that extra E. I should have done one in plural too, but it goes the same way as the Tasche in this case. So when you have die or plural die, you're going to have an E ending on there. Any other time, so when you have something that's der or das, there's no ending on the word. So that is your ein word endings for nominative and accusative. So right now, that is nominative. Notice these changes, or these are also different. That's your adjective endings. We're going to talk about those a little bit later. So in this case, this is nominative case for this example, we've got nominative case. So if I do these sentences in accusative case, I have to say that I have something. So I have to talk about an object, something that I own. So I'm going to go with Ich habe mein neues Buch. And for the second one, I'm going to say Ich habe meinen neuen Wagen. And the third sentence, Ich habe meine neue Tasche. So, again, here are your ein words. And the endings are different. We have one ending that changed, and that is the masculine one. So, when you have a masculine ending, when it becomes an object, so here was the subject completion or the subject of the sentence. In this sentence, it's an object. I'm the subject, so I is the subject, and what I have, what I'm verbing, is my direct object. So thus, I changed this ending from a no ending to an en. So the endings then change, and you have die, der, and das. So this stays no ending. This becomes an en, and die stays an e. Oops, let me shift that up so you can actually see what I write. Okay, so I'm going to stop there, but what I'm going to do is I will explain our case chart in class, and then I'm going to make a separate video that explains it just for the case chart, so you can watch it anytime that you get lost or confused, because you're going to need it all the time. Okay, let me know if you have questions so far.